Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you're watching this. Welcome to Shade Shenanigans, powered by Next Mood Swing. I'm your host, Cristal Bubblin, and we're going to get into all the fuckery and mess that happened this week. So starting it off is your man Soulja Boy. He was found liable for assault, sexual battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress for his former assistant. I mean, on an up note, jurors didn't find him liable for false imprisonment and other allegations, so I guess that's a plus. The woman said she began working for Soulja Boy in 2018, and he agreed to pay her $500 a week for cleaning, cooking, and other personal tasks, but she says she was never paid. The two began dating, and soon after, he began abusing her, raping her, threatening her with violence and death. She believed she was in love with him, of course, and he manipulated her into staying until 2020 despite repeated acts of violence. Now, she was beaten and raped again when she returned to his place to get her things after breaking up with him for the final time. Now, I remember being befuddled, confused, behooved, maybe, when he performed at the Cheeto and Chiefs inauguration events. But this makes so much sense now. Like, Cheeto's got 34 convictions and sexual assault convictions, and now Soulja Boy's got a few. It's like, like kind of like rapist of a feather, So that makes sense. Damon Wayans shared some TMI with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay. He revealed that he fell in love with the same woman who dated his nephew. 2 years after his divorce in 1999, Damon was ready to move on. He told Shannon Sharpe he saw her and fell in love. As if that's not cringy enough, Damon made it weirder by letting us know that once he figured out the connection between the nephew and the woman, he called the nephew to get his blessing, and he got it. And it's also weird because if the nephew and the woman weren't dating, like, why are you calling the nephew like she's his property? Like, you have to get, like I said, permission to date this woman. Also, how old is your nephew? Because it's not like May, December type romance. This seems like 1965, 1982 type romance. And while this is cringy, you gotta admit, there are a lot of damn Wayanses. Wayans. There's a lot of them, okay? Because you got Keenan, Sean, Marlon, Damon, who's a junior, their sister Kim, and then Damon's got 4 kids himself. Speaking of which, did y'all hear? Apparently, one of Damon's daughters. Okay, Damon's got 2 baby mamas, right? So, daughter from baby mama number 1 had a boyfriend, and then one of the daughters from baby mama number 2 slept with the boyfriend of daughter from baby mama number 1. What is going on in the Wayans household? We dating our nephews, exes. Listen, it's way too much. But like I said, there's a lot of them, so you're bound to run into them. I know a couple people who've dated somebody from the Wayans family, so I'll give them that benefit of the doubt right there. And speaking of telling us information you couldn't pry out of me with a crowbar, a woman on TikTok let us know that she spent $10,000 US to find a man. The woman paid a dating coach around $800 a month for a year to guide her through the dating pool, which has feces and all kinds of awful stuff in it. He gave her advice on men as well as mistakes and behaviors that she exhibited herself. Well, she met a man a year ago. They got engaged 2 months ago, and allegedly their wedding is in 5 months. Now, she did make some great points about how we'll hire coaches or mentors in other facets of our life, like career mentors, health, physical trainers, people who mentor you for your finances. So why not have someone help you navigate affairs of the heart? Which that makes sense. But good on her, because I couldn't do it. I want like Louis bags more than I want a man. Like I couldn't imagine with my dating history paying $10,000 for some, you know what? That's going to get real misandrous. So I'm going to just stop right there. You know, I'm happy for them. Congratulations for them. I hope the wedding is beautiful. I hope the relationship lasts your $10,000 worth. Like what's a $10,000 relationship marker of time? Is it like $1,000 a year? You know, if it lasts 5 years, are you okay with that? I don't know. I'd be pissed. I'd be wanting my money back if it didn't work out. And your boy Donnie and his band of losers, the Republicans, passed the SAVE Act in the House, and now it's headed to the Senate. The legislation would require documentary proof of U.S. citizenship for anyone to register to vote. Now, this act could disenfranchise millions of people, and the list of documents doesn't consider the realities facing millions of Americans who don't have easy access to their birth certificates, and that roughly half of the country does not have a U.S. passport. There are also additional hurdles. There are also additional hurdles for women whose birth certificates don't match their current IDs because they changed their name after getting married. So if you're in this situation, and basically if you're traveling when you try to get back in the country, people have been having issues as well with their IDs. And so for this, if you're going to register to vote in person, you would need either a real ID compliant driver's license, a valid U.S. passport, a military ID card with military record of service that lists the applicant's birthplace as in the U.S. So not only would you need your military ID, you need your military papers, and they have to say that you were born in America. You'd also need a valid government issued photo ID that shows the applicant's birthplace was the U.S. And I have not seen any type of ID, like on your driver's license, it doesn't say born where you were born. So I don't know what possible ID that could be, or a valid government issued photo ID presented with a document such as a certified birth certificate that shows your birthplace was in the US. Now, for me, I live in LA, but I grew up in New Jersey and I was born in New York. And I was born in a small town in New York, not one of the big popular towns. So for me to get my birth certificate was nightmare. It got to the point where my dear mother was finally like, fuck it, I'll go get it. And she drove from New Jersey to Long Island to pick it up in order to mail it to me. So can you just imagine the people who don't have access, the people who don't have somebody to drive to pick up their birth certificate for them, not being able to vote? This act could affect as many as 70 million people. And when you think of how many people voted in the last election, you see how this could definitely sway election results to one side. The Cheeto side. Ugh, yuck. Anyway, though. Now, I've been looking through y'all DMs or your emails at sendshade@gmail.com, and I got a couple here that I thought was tasty. You know I love being in your business. So let's see. I noticed there was a $200 charge on my bank account for something I didn't buy, and for some reason my account balance was $0 when I had at least $8,000 in that account. I went to my bank to see what happened and get a new card, thinking that my card had been skimmed. Imagine my surprise when I find out there was a $50,000 garnishment on my account. Imagine my anger when I realized the debt belonged to my husband. We have a joint account, but he rarely uses it, and all the money in the account I put there. He clearly hasn't been truthful about the success of his business. I feel so betrayed. He's been lying to me about the money he makes and taking care of his taxes. It makes me wonder if he's lying about other things. And I feel like he's a complete stranger now. What should I do? Girl, well, I would say before you cuss him out, if there are any other accounts that he is linked to, clear them out, get your money, and open an account elsewhere so your stuff can't be garnished anymore. Then I would definitely cuss him out for lying. And I'm the type of person that if I feel like you lied to me one time, I really don't know how to take everything you say after that. And maybe it's extreme, but child, I will file them papers. Now, I know marriage is a commitment and you work through the tough times and the ups and downs. But man, say this man is like tied up with the mafia or something, and that's why that money got messed up. And now you got somebody in your house at 3:00 in the morning with a gun to your head. Okay, that was extreme. That maybe it's not that serious, but yeah, what should you do? Definitely clear out all your accounts and grab hold of your money and try to at least disassociate financially from him. Let's see here. Ooh, we got one from a fella. Okay, some little boy tea. Not calling you little boy. Anyway, my best friend Troy is dating the most amazing woman, but he is dogging her out. Now, I'm not the kind of man to turn a blind eye when there's some bullshit happening, so I try to give her hints that she'd be better off leaving him alone. One time she was planning a trip for them, and I suggested she'd enjoy the destination more if she went by herself or with some girlfriends. She totally brushed that off, and the trip turned out to be a disaster. Troy was flirting with women at the resort and even went on an all-day excursion without her, leaving her in the room for a whole day. As if that's not bad enough, I've caught feelings for her. Ooh. I know that's against bro code, but I would treat her so much better, and she deserves so much better. Do I tell her how I really feel about her or keep it to myself until they inevitably break up? Do I tell Troy? I don't want to dirty Mac my boy, but he is really the worst thing for her. Oh, so chivalry isn't dead. Yeah, this is quite the conundrum. I mean, do you tell Troy first or do you tell her first? If you tell Troy first, that goes back to like, are you getting permission? Like, is she his possession? You know what? I would say since Troy is low down and no good, baby, just shoot your shot. Just go ahead and shoot your shot. You go ahead and be the home wrecker I know you can be, and go ahead and break them up. If you think you're better for her than your boy, go for it, because, I mean, he ain't doing her right anyway, so I think that bro code doesn't necessarily apply here. So go for it. And write us back and let us know how it turns out. All right, this will be the last letter for the week. If you need advice or just have some tea to spill, feel free to DM me, Cristal Bubblin on all platforms, or email me, sendshade@gmail.com. My sister and I have always been close and shared a lot of the same interests. We both grew up singing in church and wanted to pursue a career in music. It's been about 7 years since we started, and recently I've been having some success with my songs getting used in TV shows and connecting with some well-known producers. Well, you go, girl. Okay. Unfortunately, she isn't having the same luck. I forgot to mention I do pop commercial music, and she wants to stay in the R&B gospel lane. Yesterday, we got into an argument, and she said I was stealing her goals and blocking her from being successful. I didn't know how to react. I always thought we were both supportive of each other, and to know she thinks I'm trying to sabotage her career hurts. How do I explain to her that I want her to win too, and I'm not trying to stop her shine? Oh, that's sad. I don't like to hear about the girls fighting. I especially don't like to hear about sisters fighting. I think the only thing you can do is really keep on doing what you're doing. If you haven't been being a hater or actually actively trying to sabotage her, like, all you can do, you can't dim your light to make hers brighter. And possibly the genres have something to do with the different levels of success you guys are having. You know, maybe connect her with some of those producers you're working with, or help her get placements on shows that would benefit from having an R&B gospel sound to it. I think this is one of those things where she has this in her head and it's not going to get out of her head until she feels like she's on the same level as you. So she's basically going to become your number one hater until that happens. I'm so sorry. But I hope y'all work that out, because I don't, like I said, I don't want to hear about the girls' beef. I mean, I want to hear about it because I'm nosy, but I don't like it because girls got to stick together. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. That was this week's episode of Shade Shenanigans, powered by Next Mood Swing. Thank you for tuning in. As I mentioned before, feel free to DM me, Cristal Bubblin, on all platforms. Make sure you follow Next Mood Swing on all platforms. And if you're watching this right now, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll wait. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Remember, y'all, Wakanda forever. Peace.